The stone of waiting. Do not look into it, for it offers false comfort. It shows you the world is settled, its future determined. And when the future is determined, it ceases to be the future. It is merely a shadow already cast. The mirror wasn't actively projecting anything, it was passively draining. People looked into the mirror, saw an image of the town frozen in time, and their subconscious latched onto that permanence. Then the mirror subtly, gently, extracted the most potent thing, untapped potential. Evelyn had to destroy the mirror, but it would be impossible if she didn't remember why before she acted. She locked herself in the archive room. She wrote no notes, for the memory of reading the notes would fade. She needed a strong memory, a past action that demanded a future consequence. She picked up a heavy, copper-handled magnifying glass and, tears welling in her sleep-deprived eyes, slammed it down hard on her hand, shattering the glass. The unfolding mystery. The pain was unbearable. It was a clear, sharp, undeniable event from the past. She immediately connected that dark pain to a single, imperative future action: I must shatter the mirror before the wound heals. The break. The town hall was eerily quiet, filled with the low, hoarse voices of the perpetually sleepless. They sat on folding chairs, staring at the mirror cordoned off with rope. Evelyn, her hand wrapped in a makeshift bandage, felt the damage begin immediately. Why this pain? She thought. Why am I here? The memory of the journal, the founder's warning, the threat to the town, it was all scattering like fine ash. But the throbbing pain in her hand was undeniable. It was now loud, demanding. She stumbled toward the obsidian mirror, her body driven only by the certainty that this pain, this past wound, was a direct instruction to act against the black stone. She didn't know why she was doing it, only that she had to. The obsidian mirror and the sleepless city. The town of Havenwood lived up to its name. Nestled in the Appalachian Mountains, it was a place of comforting routines and deep, uninterrupted sleep. Until the mirror arrived. It was discovered during the excavation for the new community center, a piece of dark, polished obsidian, almost perfectly rectangular, about the size of a small window. It wasn't reflective in the traditional sense. Instead of light bouncing back, the surface seemed to absorb it, producing a hazy, monochrome, and always strangely still image. The moment the mirror was placed on display in the town hall, Havenwood's tranquil rhythm was shattered. It began with sleeplessness. At first, there were only a few cases. Then, by the end of the month, almost every resident of Havenwood was plagued by persistent, bone-deep insomnia. But the sleeplessness was merely a symptom of a far stranger malady. The town was losing its sense of forward momentum. The thief of tomorrow. Evelyn Hayes, the local librarian and keeper of the town's history, was one of the first to notice this profound illness. She had always been meticulous and methodical. But now, she couldn't remember what she was supposed to do tomorrow. It wasn't that she forgot her schedule for the next hour, that remained intact. It was the disappearance of anything in the future. She would make plans to visit her sister next Friday, be absolutely certain of it, and then, the moment she closed her eyes, the memory of the appointment would simply vanish, replaced by a gray void. It was happening to everyone. The mayor forgot the deadline for his budget proposal. The high school soccer team kept forgetting the new plays they had practiced the day before. Havenwood was becoming a town that existed entirely in a perpetual, exhausting now. Desperate, Evelyn went to the town hall. The obsidian mirror was suspended by a rope, surrounded by sleep-deprived people who stared into its depths. The official theory was that the stone was emitting some kind of electromagnetic wave that was affecting their sleep cycles. But Evelyn realized the terrifying truth when she saw Mrs. Gable looking into the mirror. Mrs. Gable was crying. She kept pointing to the top of the mirror, which showed a picture of the town square, strangely deserted, as if viewed through thick, milky glass. "It's beautiful," Mrs. Gable whispered, her eyes wide with desperate admiration. I can't wait to see my grandson graduate in June. I can't wait." The next day, Mrs. Gable told Evelyn that she couldn't remember her grandson's name, or what school he attended. That night, Evelyn tried to keep herself away from the mirror's hypnotic glow. She had one thought: on Tuesday, I will go to Dr. Albright's office and ask about the mirror's composition. She wrote it down, put the note in a safe, and locked it. In the morning, the note made no sense. She remembered writing something, but its content, purpose, and the date had completely vanished. Yet she still remembered every detail of her childhood, every book she had ever read, every argument she had ever won. The past was solid. Only the future was porous. Then the realization struck her, colder than the obsidian itself: the mirror wasn't reflecting memories of the past, it was stealing possibilities from the future, it was gathering Havenwood's asterisk potential, plans, goals, the things that were meant to be. The sleepless town was so fixated on now because its tomorrow was ending. The fixation. Evelyn realized she needed a memory she couldn't lose. She found the oldest book in the library archives, a leather-bound journal written by the town's founder in 1798. Tucked inside were sketches of an ancient, dark stone, an obsidian mirror, and a cryptic warning. Some of the residents looked up, their eyes dull and vacant. They were too far gone in the eternal present to care about an act of future destruction. Evelyn grabbed the nearest heavy object, a ceremonial iron poker. She didn't pause for thought would fail her. Driven by the physical, immediate imperative of her wounded hand, she swung the poker with all her might. The poker struck the obsidian mirror. Instead of a crash, there was a terrible, vacuum-like sucking sound. An immediate, total implosion of silence. The black surface didn't shatter, it simply vaporized. One moment it was there, the next, it was gone, leaving behind a faint cloud of hot, acrid smoke and a large, empty marble pedestal. Morning in Havenwood. The townspeople blinked. They looked around, their eyes wide and bewildered. They remembered being tired, impossibly tired, but for the first time in months, they felt the sweet relief of drowsiness. Mrs. Gable rubbed her eyes. "Oh, Evelyn. Thank goodness you're here. I must have fallen asleep. I was so worried about forgetting the graduation date. June 15th, remember?" Evelyn sank into a chair, her hand trembling. She looked at Mrs. Gable, and the memory of the mirror, the stolen future, the journal, and the wound she had inflicted upon herself all came rushing back with sickening clarity. "Yes, Mrs. Gable," Evelyn whispered, tears finally escaping. June 15th. She knew the memory of the mirror would soon fade, receding like a strange, collective dream. The obsidian mirror was gone, and with it, the danger. The next morning, Havenwood awoke. For the first time in months, the town awoke not to an eternal, exhausting present, but to a bright, hopeful, and utterly uncertain future. Evelyn stood at her window. She felt the pulse in her hand steadying, the pain now manageable. More importantly, she felt the thrill of an impending memory: I need to buy a card for Mrs. Gable's grandson. The future was messy, unknown, and wonderful, and it was finally back.